Hi everyone, I am Leosas Nico. I'm from St. Rita's College of Balingasag, base Criminology 3. I'm here to discuss some commonly misused words in English language and examples. Whose versus whose. Whose. Whose is a contraction meaning it's two words stuck together. The formula who plus is or who plus has. For example, who's hungry? Whose. Whose is a possessive pronoun. Use it when you're asking or telling to whom something belongs. For example, whose sandwich is this? Compliment versus complement. Compliment, a polite expression of praise or admiration. Example, she paid me an enormous compliment. Complement, a number of or quantity of something, especially that required to make group complete. For example, at the moment we have a full complement of staff. Insure versus insure. Insure. Make certain that something shall occur or be the case. For example, the client must ensure that accurate records be kept. Insure. Secure or protect someone against or a possible contingency. For example, by appeasing Celia, they might insure themselves against further misfortune. Illicit versus illicit. Illicit. Evoke or draw out a response, answer, or fact from someone in reaction to one's own action or question. For example, they invariably elicit exclamations of approval from guests. Illicit, forbidden by law, rules, or custom. For example, illicit drugs. Cite versus cite. Cite, quote, a passage, book, or author as evidence for or justification of an argument or statement, especially in a scholarly work. For example, authors who are highly regarded by their peers tend to be cited. Site, an area or ground on which a town, building, or monument is constructed. For example, the proposed site of a hydroelectric dam. Your versus your. Your, belonging to or associated with the person or people that the speaker is addressing. For example, what is your name? Your, from the two words you and are. For example, you're an angel, Deb. Stationary versus stationary. Stationary, not moving or not intended to be moved. For example, a car collided with a stationary vehicle. Stationary, writing paper, especially with matching envelopes. For example, writing and other office materials. Boast versus boost. Boost, help or encourage something to increase or improve. For example, a range of measures to boost tourism. Boost, talk with excessive pride and self-satisfaction about one's achievement, possessions, or abilities. For example, she boasted about her many conquests. Accept versus accept. Accept, consent to receive a thing offered. For example, he accepted a pen as a present. Accept, not including other than. Example, they work every day except Sunday. Lose versus lose. Lose, be deprived of or cease to have or retain. For example, I've lost my appetite. Loose, not firmly or tightly fixed in place, detached or able to be detached. A loose tooth. Palate versus palate. Palate, the roof of the mouth separating the cavities of the nose and the mouth invertebrates. Example, a fine range of drinks for sophisticated palates. Palette, the range of color used by a particular artist in particular picture. For example, I choose a palette of natural earthy colors. Lived versus left. Live, allow to remain. For example, the parts he disliked, he would alter, and the parts he didn't dislike, he'd leave. Left, if there is a certain amount of something left, or if you have a certain amount of it left, it remains when the rest has gone or been used. For example, is there any gin left? There versus there. There, belonging to or associated with the people or things previously mentioned or easily identified. For example, parents are keen to help their children. There, in, at, or to that place or position. For example, we went on to Paris and stayed there 11 days. Become versus became. Become, begin to be. For example, it is becoming clear that we are in a totally new situation. Became, the grief was so strong that it became a nauseating pain. Practice versus practice. Practice, the actual application or use of an idea, belief, or method as opposed to the theories relating to it. For example, the principles and practice of teaching. Practice, this practice is an action. So, thank you for listening.